Okay, so they're closing the transition area now, which means whatever you've done, that's it. It's sort of like in shooting, when the buzzer goes off, that's it. You're on your own. So the transition area is full. 4 bikes to a rack. Everybody's got their own little setup here. We had a swim, practice or whatever, and I learned something very important. Don't think you're going to see anything in the water. It's completely murky. Of course, here is keeping the orange cones on your right, so all the way down there. Keep them on your right, and then we go all the way down there. Keep them on your right, all the way down there, and then through the red. I think that's where the time stops. Right there, you can see the sensor. Yeah, and then we got out here and started to run, and man, that was an experience. Putting your feet under you after swimming, because you're not really kicking, right? And you're going upwind this way, downwind that way. Everybody's on top of each other. Oh, and there's a nice little feature of this is that there's rocks in there. So everybody's trying to navigate around the rocks, which are submerged. You can't really see anything under there because the water's all stirred up with the number of people that were there. Yeah. This is what the running finish line looks like. You can see the track on the other side. So when you came out of the transition area, it was 2 loops around the entire track. And after the first one, you really wanted to come in here, let me tell you. But you had to go again. There's still people out there now. Is the room where all of the training happens here, all the hard work's done in here. Call it the pain cave. We have our heart rate chart with updated heart rate information, max, mins, and we train by heart rate zone. This is a system called Zwift, Z-W-I-F-T. It's a virtual racing platform for bikes, and basically you can take your tri-bike, in this case my Colnago, and put it on a trainer. In this case it's a Wahoo Kicker. Rear wheel is removed, but the rest of the bike is intact, and the rear wheel is controlled by a microprocessor and a flywheel, and is connected through, in this case, a dedicated PC. Could be a laptop, and with a screen, so you're virtually racing. In this case, I keep, now the bike is ready for triathlon, which is in 48 hours, and I have my Garmin 1030 unit on the bike here, which I track watts per kilogram in power when I'm on the bike. I want to see the heart rate as well. The rest is kind of perfunctory, but these are my aero bars all set up for me. I don't really use them when I'm training, but if getting ready for a triathlon, I'll put that on there. Very important to have a fan. I know it sounds basic, but this is the setup for triathlons. So here we are at our second half of the brick workout. We're actually 72 hours before the race. This is the pool that I work out at, and I'll just show you a couple of things. We wear a race cap because that'll be in race conditions. You don't kick in a triathlon, so we use this to hold the legs up, band around that. We'll do a mile with that, and then we'll do another mile just using the pulls there, which will work on upper body. So the main point about this video was to kind of compare and contrast the two high-level sports, which is triathlon versus championship shooting. And the first thing that they're very, very similar. And the very first thing is the preparation. Lots and lots of volume of preparation in the triathlon as well as in shooting, as you know. Equipment can make or break the effort, so it really does need to be dialed in. You want to get there early, a day early, learn the course, and then envision yourself on the various courses, because it's your responsibility to ensure that you know how to complete the race. After that, you get to the race day. It's generally chaotic, as is the case usually with championship shooting. Get there early, set up all of your equipment, review the various entry and exit points of the courses, and plan as much as possible how you're going to go from one transition to the other. There are 2 transitions in triathlon. They're both very important. What's interesting is that as you get under stress, your form starts to break down, and that's the same thing in shooting. And then finally, when you're done, you get to analyze the results and then reapply them in the next event. So they're very, very similar.